Whoa. Who is that? Oh my gosh, is that Tom Selleck? No, it's me. In case you can't tell, I shaved off the neck beard. I know a lot of y'all are probably gonna be pretty upset about that because the neck beard was a really popular thing in the comments, but now it's just gonna be personified sexy over here, just rocking the stash in all its glory. Let me get another close-up of that. Just rocking the stash. Oh yeah. Welcome back to Average JoJo.
Yeah. I'm sweating. Yeah. In 2010, thought I was doing something. And now I'm rapping with a crew or something. I guess the track don't really stick unless he's gluing something. And I never...
Oh wait, before we get started, gotta set the mood. Ooh, Change of Seasons by Yankee Candle. Now that the mood is set, I am feeling a lot better. Thank you for all of your prayers. Thank you for everybody that reached out. It took a couple weeks, but I'm back, baby. That's right, I'm back and I'm really excited to jump back in. Now, I've had a couple hang-ups with I don't want to call them debates. So first of all, let me start there. I don't want to call them debates, but I don't know what else to call them. They're not debates. They're gonna be civil conversations between two people that may happen to disagree, either politically or whatever. But if a debate takes place, then a debate takes place, but I don't want it to feel like you're watching a debate or like the people that are coming onto my show walking into a debate. I want it to feel just like a conversation. And really the point is to show that we can have civil conversations with people from the other side, especially politically, because I feel like that's something you don't really see a whole lot right now. So I don't know what to call it. I called it a debate in my last video, but that's just because I don't have a good name for it. I wanted to come up with something catchy and be able to name the segment. So I'm gonna actually reach out to y'all. I'm asking for your help. If you can come up with a catchy name for a segment that two people who sit on opposite sides of the aisle politically, or like I said, even with faith or something like that, two people that disagree that can sit down and have a civil conversation with each other and enjoy each other's company. What would you want that segment to be called? Put it in the comments below, and if I like your suggestion, I may use it, or I may just come up with my own, because this is my channel. I can do whatever I want, guys. Jeez, okay? So going from that, I haven't yet started with any of those conversations because I haven't figured out how to do it. Right now, I'm filming every episode from my phone, and I'm editing on my iPhone. Really, I've just got an iPhone. I don't have any editing software or anything like that. So it'll probably help once we do get a computer, that I could probably be able to record the conversation that way. I think I can record the conversation through Skype, so I may be doing it that way. Long story short, I'm having a hard time figuring out how to make the conversations happen with people long distance who aren't around me, that maybe do some sort of video call. I'm trying to figure that out, so bear with me. Once I get it figured out, hopefully by the end of this month, we'll have our first one and we'll be good to go. Now, I know I said I was gonna do a book of the week, and some of y'all may be wondering how that last book was. Well, I couldn't tell you. Unfortunately, I'm a master procrastinator, and I still haven't read the book. Not even the cover page. Nothing. But I do have a podcast of the week. I do listen to a lot of podcasts. I love podcasts, and this one is a murder mystery. For all of you murder mystery fans out there, you would probably enjoy, if you haven't already heard it, the podcast Dirty John. You can find it on Spotify and iTunes, and I'm sure other places. But it's Dirty John. It's brought to you by, I believe, the LA Times, and it's a very good podcast. It's about 6 episodes, and I don't want to dive too much into it. It's very good. I definitely encourage you to go listen to it, especially if you like murder mysteries. It's a very good one to listen to. However, I do have a song of the week. The song of the week this week that I've been vibing to is Hot Shower by Chance the Rapper. I love this song. It's a song that many of you already know, but is what I've been vibing to this week. So I wanted to put it out there. show some love to Chance. I love Chance. You're a great rapper. If you're watching this, which would be really awesome. So, song of the week, here's a little snippet.
Hey, I got muscles like Superman trainer. Ay, real rare like Super Saiyan Mega. I jump, stomp on Lucifer's stage. Now I got a few rings on Jupiter skating. I meant to say Saturn, switched up the pattern. Smoking on some shatter, got me higher than a ladder. Thanks, son, flatter, my baby mama batter. You look like Mick Jagger, oops, a grease splatter. Hot, ooh, jumping out the grease. It's a whole lot of degrees, about to come, about to fleece. Please, shh, I don't wanna hear a beat. Trying to catch some sleep, trying to count some sheep. Hot damn, hot water, hot shower. Hot Atlanta smoking green cauliflower. Tangerine, yeah, I call it sweet and sour. And my lawyer say it's urgent, I'ma call him in an hour.
Alright, so let's jump in. Today, we are going to talk about the topic that nobody has heard enough of.
Coronavirus!
And what we're going to talk about with coronavirus is the political side of it. For some reason, this has become a political issue in America. People are trying to blame other people for coronavirus. I don't know why it's politicized, but we would like to interrupt this episode with a level of cuteness that nobody has ever experienced before. It is Rudy the Rootster and his brother in crime, Milo. Rudy and Milo, go away. Go. I'll be out there in a second. Go. So, sorry about that. What I wanted to talk about was coronavirus and how I feel about it. So, first of all, I'd like to say politically, this is why I'm not a full-on libertarian. Because I do believe in times like this, it is necessary to have social safety nets. Now, what that means is I'm not talking about going full-on socialism for the time being. That's not at all what I'm talking about. I would like to encourage people, if you can still work your job, whether you can do it from home or if you don't work around a ton of people, still work. But what I'm talking about is social safety nets for now. I believe that social safety nets are a good thing in cases where the economy may tank because of, say, a coronavirus or some sort of devastating event in our nation's history. For instance, back in the Great Depression, at that time, FDR did a pretty good job pulling us out of the Great Depression. Now, I know a lot of people see two different sides of this. I personally think he did a good job. It could just be what I've learned from it. I could be totally wrong, but I think he did a pretty good job. However, what he did was establish social safety nets that didn't have an end date. So, I am a libertarian to the extent of I believe in personal liberties very strongly. I usually side with libertarians on most things, but the reason I'm not fully a libertarian and the reason I consider myself more of a conservative is because I still believe in social safety nets. I still believe in the sanctity of life. So those are reasons that I'm not fully ready. Sanctity of life and the abortion argument, so is what I mean. So I'm not, which I know some libertarians still are against abortion, some aren't. It totally depends on what you call life. That's a whole other topic. But especially in times like this, a full-on libertarian could go straight into anarchy. Like a full-on libertarian society could go straight into anarchy. People could be losing their minds out there if this was a full libertarian society, which is why I kind of agree with the conservative side of, hey, social safety nets are good in times like this. Things like unemployment, things like how the government is kind of floating some cash to some businesses and some people to help pay for rent. That's all good. Now, those are loans. Just FYI, when it says Donald Trump's going to give you $1,000, he's not just giving away money. Those are loans. You will have to pay those back. But I think it's helpful for right now to have some sort of social safety net to be able to rally the troops, keep the economy moving, and help us get back up on our feet. Now, I think social safety nets are good when there's an end date. If there is no end date, then I think they're very bad, because then you move into more of a socialism type of economy, which scares the bejesus out of me. This is why I think FDR did a good job, because at the time we needed a social safety net. The economy had totally tanked. The people were lost. We needed a social safety net. He got people working again. He got the economy moving again, but it should have had an end date. I believe social programs are good for a time, but they should have an end date. For instance, let's take Social Security. Let this be a PSA, a public service announcement for all of you people that don't already know this. Projections right now are showing that by 2033, that the Social Security will no longer be viable. When I was in high school, I distinctly remember the date being 2042. By 2042, there would be no Social Security. So all of this time that I've been paying into the system, I would not reap those benefits. Now, experts are saying 2033. Some people have it even sooner than that Social Security will collapse. It can't afford to pay out based on how much it's bringing in. Now, what that means is if it is 2033, everybody who's 52 and under right now, or 51 and under, we're not going to see a dime from what we're paying into. Now, I think that it's important for us to know that. My mom was taught that Social Security will pay for her retirement, but it probably won't. My parents' generation is probably the last generation that will see anything, if anything, from Social Security. But for us, I remember being taught in high school not to rely on Social Security, to start saving for your own retirement. My parents, they started noticing, hey, Social Security is not going to be around very much longer. You need to start saving for your own retirement. So I started saving since I started working. Ever since I started working, I've been putting away money for my retirement. And my wife, she puts away money into her company offers a 401k plan. So she's putting in money on her 401k. My company offers the same thing. I'm putting money into my 401k. If either of us were to go to self-employed or move to another company that didn't offer a 401k, what we would do is transition that to a Roth IRA. If you want more information on that, I would suggest speaking to your local bank. They can definitely help you out with that. Or just finding a financial advisor. I will say probably one of the best is Dave Ramsey. He has a ton of stuff on retirement, saving for retirement. I would suggest you go look for him. Just FYI, with Social Security, they're taking 6% of your paycheck for Social Security. 6% of your paycheck could be going to a 401k. If 6% of your paycheck, instead of going to Social Security, was put into a Roth IRA or some sort of 401k plan or some sort of privatized retirement fund, you would have a lot more. By the time you retire, you would have a lot more coming out of that than you will ever see from Social Security. You probably, even if you were to retire right now at 65 years old, if you're a 65-year-old right now, you paid into Social Security your whole life at 6% or whatever percentage it was when you started working, you paid into it your whole life, you're probably not going to see anywhere near as much money as you would have seen if you had done a privatized retirement fund. I can almost guarantee you, I would be willing to bet money that you wouldn't see as much as you would see if you had put it in a 401k, a Roth IRA, or some other privatized retirement fund. So think about that, young people. When you're saving for retirement, that 6% that's coming out of your check, this is why I don't agree with Social Security. This is why I think I'm thankful it's going to be abolished, but I want people to understand it's going to be out of here. It may not be abolished by the law necessarily, but it will tank like most government programs. It will fail, and at that point, the people who don't know about it are going to be screwed. So I really want to encourage you, young people, start saving for your retirement now. At least 6%. You're already giving 6% away, but if you wanted to go 3%, 4%, if you want to go up to 12%, whatever you want to do, I mean, if you can put as much as you want, but put it in find a Roth IRA, find some sort of privatized retirement fund that you can start investing in at least 6%, right? Match what the government's putting in out of your paycheck without you wanting them to. They're putting 6% into a government program you're never going to reap the benefits from. So why don't you go ahead and put 6% of your money, and right now it's 6.2% going into coming out of your taxes. Why not right now put 6% into a Roth IRA. Go to your local bank, find out what Roth IRAs are offered there, and tell them you want to put 6% into it from your paycheck. I would suggest doing that today if you haven't already. I would do it right now. As soon as this video is over, go to the bank and start investing at least 6% into your Roth IRA. I promise you, you're going to be much more well off by the time you retire than you ever would have if you would have relied on Social Security. But this is what I want to stress. When social safety nets move from a safety net and they become a part of our everyday lives and we begin to rely on them, is when we all lose. And the issue is we have a lot of people taking advantage of the safety nets that we have now because there was no end date. And I'm a little bit scared right now. I don't know exactly what's going on with all the bills that Congress is passing, but I would love to see an end date on a lot of these bills. It's all good. I think it's good for where we're at, but if there's no end date to them, then I fear people will start to rely on them to a point where they're taking advantage of it, and eventually it's going to hurt everybody. We're falling closer and closer to socialism when there are no end dates on our social safety nets. So let me shorten all of this for you. The libertarian mentality, the libertarian mindset is small government, limited government, period. Government protects life and works on infrastructure. Like, that's what government focuses on. I love that. I agree with that for the most part. However, when it extends into times like this, where a full libertarian would say, no, the government should not do anything here. The government should keep their nose out of it. People should have saved for their own disasters. I agree with that, but that's not necessarily realistic. So what I like is social safety nets for now. With this coronavirus going on and companies are having to let people go, or people have to take a break for the next month or two or whatever it is, they're not getting paid. That's not something that anybody could have foreseen coming, except for maybe China. Screw you, China. But that's not something anybody could have foreseen coming, okay? So I would say for right now, these social safety nets are good. What I would like to see is a social safety net in place. For instance, the $1,000 a month, these different things that the government's giving out, right? Money and stuff like that the government's giving out to keep people afloat. I would like to see this given out for maybe 3 months. I would say put 3 months on it, and then after 3 months, if this is still going on and things are still crazy, we revisit it. If we should extend it, then we extend it. But if by the end of the 3 months, the economy's back up and running, people are able to get back outside, and you're able to go shopping, you're able to have your freedoms back essentially, at that point, then I think they need to get rid of these social safety nets, and they should start putting money toward that down the road. Relying on the government to take care of you is not reliable. The government is not reliable. They are great for certain things. They are great for protecting our borders and keeping us safe through the military. They're great at establishing laws that govern the land. However, the government is full of a bunch of idiots just like you and me. So what they're going to do is they're going to take that power and they're going to run with it. And they have for forever. They always will. It's just how it is. And so I really want to encourage you not to rely on the government for things. Social safety nets for times like this are good. They're offered. Take advantage of it. But keep in mind, a lot of that stuff you're going to end up paying back later. And on top of that, it's not going to last forever. So I would suggest start preparing now for when this inevitably happens in the future, whether it's another virus, whether it's time of war, whatever it is in the future, that some sort of disaster is going to happen 10, 20, 30, maybe even 2 years from now. So go ahead and start preparing now, setting money aside in a Roth IRA, set money aside in savings, prepare for this sort of stuff so that you don't have to rely on the government next time. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, at 100 subscribers, I'm going to drop merch. I'm not just talking about clothing. Ooh, maybe also your very own signed Average JoJo Fathead. Uh-oh, could be coming your way. At 100 subscribers, I will go ahead and start dropping merch, and I'll also give shout outs to people that post merch on social media, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. If you are wearing my merch or holding up a fat head somewhere, maybe taking me to the beach, whatever it is, to the mountains, maybe taking me snowboarding, probably not in the middle of June, but who knows where you live. If you do sport the merch, then I will shout you out starting at 100 subscribers. Now, before we go, Rudy wants to say goodbye. Bye, everybody. Bye, y'all. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Coronavirus!
Hey guys, it's me, JoJo. If you liked what you saw, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting that share button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, and please comment below any future videos you'd like to see. Thanks! See you later.
I guess the track